Today we're at Sarah's Pumpkin Patch in Orange, Virginia. This is Sarah Sharp. She's a local extension agent, and like many extension agents, she has some agricultural production on the side. So we're going to talk today about planting pumpkins. Sarah, why is June the best time to plant pumpkins?
So you can plant pumpkins any time of the year, really. I know a lot of people, they always are super eager to get their pumpkins in the ground normally as soon as it starts getting warm. But we have to think about how long it takes for a pumpkin to actually grow. So most of our orange pumpkins that we want for Halloween, they take about 100 to 110 days to actually grow. So if you want a pumpkin for October, which is when people normally want them for their porches, we want to plant those sometime around the end of June for that 100-day window.
We're in a commercial pumpkin patch, but at homeowners, what's the best type of selection of seed for growing pumpkins?
Absolutely. So when you're looking for seed, you want to make sure that you're looking for pumpkins that are a newer variety, and we know that because they may have some sort of disease resistance to them. And so that doesn't make them a GMO, this makes them a hybrid. So what happened was the pumpkin breeders went in and they said, wow, this pumpkin doesn't get disease like the rest of the pumpkins do. We're going to save the seeds from that pumpkin. So we want to try to use some of these newer varieties that have some resistance to some of these powdery mildew, and so that we don't get those on our pumpkins as well.
That's a great integrated pest management technique to do, select disease-resistant varieties. You've mentioned, the big pumpkins, but homeowners can also grow pie pumpkins or small pumpkins. Is the planting the same?
Absolutely. So we want to make sure that we're looking for our days until they're ready. Sometimes those little pie pumpkins, they take 90 to 95 days, but we could always just make it easy and plant all of our pumpkins at the same time.
If I've got a family of 4, we each want to have a pumpkin, how many pumpkin plants do I need to plant? Can I get one plant to grow them all, or do I need multiple plants?
Absolutely. So when we start looking at seed, most of our seeds are going to come in packs of 25 or 50. So you can always get a couple different packs and perhaps save those seeds for the next year. But we also want to look at, the type of pumpkin that we're planting. So some of our small pumpkins, some of our pie pumpkins, or some of our field trip pumpkins, the smaller ones, we can get 4 or 5 or 6 pumpkins on one plant. If we're growing our larger jack-o'-lanterns, sometimes we'll only get 1 or 2 pumpkins on a plant. So it depends on what we're looking for as well.
Great. So we're filming this a little early, so we're not ready to do actually some planting, but can you give us some tips on how a homeowner would plant their pumpkins?
Absolutely. So you just go out and I like to do what's called no-till planting. So this is my cover crop out here. And so we'll just plant directly into this. That'll help us with some of our weeds and weed management, some of our disease management, because we don't want bare soil. So for a homeowner, you can always go out. I tell some people they can use the landscape fabric and plant directly into landscape fabric, or you can just go out in your garden and just dig a little hole. We really want no more than about 1 inch into the ground, especially in June when our soil temperature is pretty warm and we have enough moisture. We just plant it about 1 inch in the ground and then wait till they start all coming up.
And I know as an ag producer, you're always weather dependent and worried about the rains. For a homeowner, how would they might need to take care of this during the growing season to get that big pumpkin?
Absolutely. So if you're really looking for one of those really big monster pumpkins, you're going to have to go out and do some watering of those pumpkins. We want to make sure about 1 inch a week is normally what we recommend for any sort of irrigation. We don't want the soil too wet. I tell people pumpkins don't like it too hot, they don't like it too cold, they don't like it too wet, and they don't like it too dry. They're really the Goldilocks of a lot of our garden vegetables that we have. So we want to do some irrigation and just make sure that soil stays damp, but we're not also keeping it too wet, so then we have fungal diseases in our pumpkins.
And watering directly where the pumpkin plant is versus a sprinkler will help with those fungal diseases too.
Absolutely. We definitely don't want any sort of overhead watering if we can help it with our pumpkins, because anytime you get water on those leaves, we're going to have lots of little fungal spores that are also going to grow in those water droplets. So if we can prevent that, that's great.
So while we're out here in the field, your production here is a little bit differently. Can you tell us how you plant pumpkins out here in your field? You mentioned just planting into the cover crop, but what does that look like?
We have a tractor and we actually use a corn planter.
Okay.
And so we have six boxes on those corn planters, and so then we use 2 of those boxes to get about 6.5 feet between rows, which is what I aim for. And then my dad just drives the tractor back and forth. I plant right around 30 different varieties,
Wow.
all different colors, shapes, and sizes. And so we just mix it all up, and there is a method to the madness. There's a spreadsheet that goes into this, and that's how we plant right into this.
And you've been holding a package of seeds that you get commercially. So this is a lot bigger package than what a homeowner would get. You said they probably would get like 25 seeds in a packet. How many would normally come in that size?
Exactly. So this bag right here actually holds 3,000
Wow.
pumpkin seeds, which people are always surprised when I tell them how many fit in this bag. And this bag cost me about $600
Wow.
for the amount of seeds that are in this little bag. So when I get my shipments every spring, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of money in these boxes right here that aren't very big.
And you're waiting for several months before you reap the benefit and can
Exactly.
recoup that cost.
Precisely.
So Sarah, since we're here at your pumpkin patch, I'm sure our viewers would love to know how you plant these pumpkins commercially. Why don't we take a walk and talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're out here in the pumpkin patch and it looks pretty boring. This is the cover crop that I use, and then we'll come out at about the end of June.
Okay.
My dad will take the tractor and corn planter, and I'll plant 30 different varieties
Wow.
of pumpkins out here. Normally ends up somewhere between 20 and 25,000 seeds that will be planted in the field. And then they'll just grow until they're ready to be picked in October.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk about not only growing pumpkins in our home garden, but how you do it here at the pumpkin patch. For more information about growing pumpkins in your home garden, contact your local extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Ed Olson. See you next time.